Hello everyone and welcome to Shard TCG. Richard here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the new deck builder. The deck builder can be found on our website shardtcg.com/deck/manager, or just click the deck builder link up here. You do need to make an account to make a deck, so you may have to sign up as well. So as you can see here, I've got a deck I've already made, the aptly named Chaos deck. So if we open this up, you can see here we've got a name, little description, and if we go to manage cards, you can see I've already selected quite a few cards in this deck. But let's make a new deck. So to start with, click create a new deck, and then we're going to give it a name, so insect. And here with the private tick, if you untick this, you can share the deck using a link, and your deck essentially becomes public. But if you want a secret deck, you don't want people to be able to see it, tick private and it'll be private. Ignore this section here, there's a little bug where if you click create new deck, it'll show the stats of the last deck you selected. I'll fix that. But yeah, hit save, and we've just saved our new deck, and now new controls have opened. So there's a link to share our new deck. At the minute it's just an empty deck though, so not very useful. So we're going to click manage cards. This brings up the card manager. On the right there's a full library of every card available for making a deck with, and on the left is where the cards that you add to the deck are going to go. There's also filters here and here. So here you can filter deck entries by their name, by the amount of cards that are in each of the deck, and here you can filter the actual cards that you want to put in the deck. So let's make an insect deck. So here we can choose type, where you can choose creature types as well as spell types. We're going to go with insect, and as you can see here, we've got every insect that's available from set 1 of Shard so far. You'd also do stuff like filter by element as well, or oh yeah, I was like, why is the Cogmuska not shown for order? He's Ether. There we go. You can also click on a card to get a full view of that card as well, and then just click close up here to go back to your deck builder view. So let's add a few. So we'll want a few Eyewigs, some Ostermines. Darklings are always good for insect decks. Gotta have Magnarabs. Basically, you want everything. All of the insects make a good insect deck. Especially these two must-haves for an insect deck. Be sure to check out one of the previous videos I made, which is me just doing a rundown of all the insect cards and my thoughts on them as well. We're going to be making more videos like that, which will be useful when deck building. So I've got a few creatures picked out. Now I'm going to want some spells. Rather than filtering by spell type, however, I want to change the mode. So might think of a better name for this, but you can basically choose creature cards or spell cards. So you've got filters here, there, everywhere. Also, if we go back to creature, you can filter creatures by actions. So say we want those Darklings have, is it latch? Yeah, Darklings have the latch action. So you can see only that creature is available with latch. Let me think of another one. Karmic Return. There we go. Both the Ramon and Kobold have Karmic Return. This is useful because this is a swarm attack. So you're gonna, if you get a creature of swarm, you might be like, are there any other creatures that can swarm with this one besides more Ramon? Turns out Kobold can, because Kobold also have Karmic Return. I think these have exactly the same actions, in fact. So definitely two fun cards to pair together, and in the future, as we add more cards, you're going to see a lot of repeated actions showing up, and it's going to become more important as we develop the card game a bit further. So yeah, you can filter by action, you can filter by creature effects, you can also filter the filter. So let's say we want a creature effect where you gain +1 shard. Here we can be like, oh okay, Soul Letting, that's the new Mala demon. So Soul Letting, when it destroys a wounded creature, you gain +1 shard for every wound on the destroyed creature. So this is useful if you want to search for certain types of effects that you feel like you need in your deck as well. But yeah, let's swap over to spells, and let's put a few spells in quite quickly. So Grave Harvest is nice to have. Any other ones we can just throw in? Trying to think of some nice generic examples. But one thing you can do, you can filter by spell effect as well. So put in insect, and here we can see we've got 3 cards that have insect somewhere in the effect text as well. So Second Scout's a really good one, because when an insect summoned to the field, you get free summon another insect, which is excellent. So we definitely want that. Same for parasitic eggs, we're going to want 5 of those in. And let's put a few husks in as well, which lets us get some of them back from the graveyard. As you can see here, we've got a nice, probably quite a decent deck for this. 46 cards in total, 13 unique. Could maybe prune it a little bit, like maybe, I don't know, knock these down to 2 each. Maybe, well, 3 Dark Ones, okay, maybe only 2 Magnarabs and 2 Kog'Muskas. You don't want too many cards in your deck, so 42, that's quite healthy. And yeah, you don't need a hit save or anything like that. Any changes you do here is immediately updated on our server, so just close card management, and there's our insect deck. Ooh, one more thing, if you're going to manage cards, on the right when you click a card you get to preview it. On the left you get to choose your deck cover, so if we click the Nerubi here, you can see it's changed in the top left, and if we close that, it now has a Nerubi representing our insect deck. Next, if you want to share the deck, as mentioned before, you've got a link down here for sharing. You can right click, copy link address, or just click the page. You can see here, Insect by Lycanite. And you can see here we've got everything in the deck, and for each deck there's a big export button up here, not to be confused with this one. So this will export the entire deck, which includes multiple copies of cards. This, however, will only export a single copy of each card. So if we go back, as you can see, we have this button here as well, Tabletop Simulator Export, and here. So if we give that a good click, it'll download us a JSON file. Now with this JSON file, you can see it's in my downloads folder here. To import it into Tabletop Simulator, you want to go to, let's navigate through this. You go to My Documents, so this would be for Windows. My Documents, My Games, Tabletop Simulator, Saves, Saved Objects, and anything that goes in here is going to show in your Saved Objects folder in Tabletop Simulator. So as you can see here, I've got a few of examples. So delete those, and we'll just move that over, and this should be automatically detected by the game. So let's jump to that. So here we are in Tabletop Simulator. To test out our new deck, let's create a single player game. You can find Shard TCG on the Steam Workshop. Just hop into Steam, subscribe to it, and then you can load it up from here. Okay, now it's going to take a little bit to load because I have mod caching off. Mod caching basically stores any images that are downloaded, and normally it's turned on. You can turn it off here. The only reason we have it off most of the time is if we update a card on the site, its image gets updated. As you can see here, when it's white, that's it loading back in. With mod caching on, it's not going to reload these images, so if you do change cards, you may get an out-of-date copy of that image, so just be sure to knock mod caching off if you find some of the cards are out of date. These ones are pretty much set in stone now, but set 2 will be available soon, as well as demons and angels, which are going to be subject to quite a few changes, so just keep that in mind. And then finally, if you go to Objects, Saved Objects, you can see here our new deck. It's got a question mark. This is because we don't have an image set for it, but it should still work. So if we drag it in, there it is. There's our deck that we made. Let's give it a nice shuffle. You can see it's got several of the cards that we put into it. Give it a bit of a search. There's the deck we built from the website. So it's quite good. Finally, if you want a nice picture for it, I'd usually recommend that you just hit save object, give it a name, like insect, and you can see it's got the actual image set. If we go back to the folder, you can see we have insect.json, which is a copy of this, and it's also got a picture with it. Now you can actually set any picture you want, as long as it's a ping and it has the same name as the JSON file, it'll work. So if we go in here, you can see I've got loads of decks, and they all have a picture associated with them. But that's if you want to do it manually. You can just right click and resave the object, and it'll give it a picture as well. And that's basically a full summary of our new deck builder. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos, and also check out the Shard TCG Discord server, as well as obviously the website as well, shardtcg.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.